Everyone, myself Tanushree, studying in Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, subject Principles of C Programming. Now I am going to explain about iterative statements. Iterative statements. Iterative statements are used to repeat the execution of list of statements depending on the value of an integer expression. There are three types of iterative statements: while loop, do while loop, and for loop. While loop. The while loop provides mechanism to repeat one or more statements while a particular condition is true. In the while loop, the condition is tested before any of the statements in the statement block is executed. If the condition is true only, then the statements will be executed. Otherwise, if the condition is false, the control will jump to statement Y, which is the immediate statement outside the while loop block. Flowchart of while loop. From flowchart, it is clear that we need to constantly update the condition of the while loop. The while loop will execute as long as the condition is true. If the condition is never updated and the condition never becomes false, then the computer will run into an infinite loop. A while loop is also referred to as top checking loop since control condition is placed as the first line of code. If the control condition evaluates to false, then the statement enclosed in the loop are never executed. Sample program. Print first 10 numbers using a while loop. Header file, int main, initialize loop variable, then test the condition while I less than or equal to 10. Execute the loop statement, then condition is updated, return 0, then the output will be numbers from 1 to 10. Do while loop. Do while is similar to while loop. The only difference is that in do while loop, the test condition is evaluated at the end of the loop. The test condition is evaluated at the end. This clearly means that the body of the loop gets executed at least once, even if the condition is false. The statements in the statement block are enclosed within curly brackets. The curly brackets are optional if there is only one statement in the body of do while loop. Flowchart of do while loop. There is no choice whether to enter the loop or not because the loop will be executed at least once irrespective of whether the condition is true or false. The do while loop will continue to execute while the condition is true, and when the condition becomes false, the control will jump to statement following the do while loop. The do while loop is an indefinite loop as the loop can execute until the user wants to stop. The do while loop checks condition at the bottom of the loop. The major disadvantage of do while loop is that it always executes at least once, even if the user enters some invalid data. Do while loops are widely used to print a list of options for a menu driven programs. Sample program. Header file, int main, then initialize loop variable, do, then condition is updated, while condition I less than or equal to 10, return 0, output is numbers from 1 to 10. For loop. The for loop provides mechanism to repeat a task until a particular condition is true. For loop is usually known as definite loop because the programmer knows exactly how many times the loop will repeat. When for loop is used, the loop is initialized only once. With every iteration of the loop, the value of loop variable is updated and condition is checked. The number of times the loop has to be executed can be determined mathematically by checking the logic of the loop. If the condition is true, then the statement block of the loop is executed. Else, the statements comprising the statement block of the for loop are skipped, and the control will jump to immediate statement following the for loop. Flowchart of for loop. In for loop, initialization of the loop variable allows a programmer to give it a value. The condition specifies that while the conditional expression is true, the loop should continue to repeat itself. Updating the loop variable may include incrementing the loop variable, decrementing the loop variable, or setting it to some other value like I equals to 2, where I is loop variable. For loop is used to execute a single or group of statements a limited number of times. The condition is tested before the statements contained in the body are executed. So, if the condition does not hold true, then the body of the for loop is not executed. Sample program header file int main initialize the variable, then for I equals to 1, I greater than or equal to 10, then increment, then return 0, then the output is numbers from 1 to 10. Thank you.